My kingdom is not from this world. If my kingdom were from this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over. These are the words of Jesus to Pilate, Caesar's most infamous governor. Here is the quintessential standoff between the king of power and the king of love. One is armed for battle, the other battles to disarm. The king of love says, "For this I was born, and for this I have come into the world, to testify to the truth." And the king of power's reply is notorious. What is truth? Throughout history, truth is a target for the Pilates of this world and the Caesars whom they serve. Caesar's truth is whatever shapes the world is liking, by force if necessary. Caesar's truth is whatever serves his pursuit of wealth, privilege, influence, and military might. Caesar's truth is whatever justifies abusing or killing in the name of order, peace, and security. That is, Caesar's order, peace, and security, which are only ever temporary and only ever for the privileged few, never for all. Caesar's truth is a false truth, only ever leading to false justice, false order, false peace, and false security. But what is the truth to which Jesus testifies? Jesus' truth is to love our enemies and to give freely to those in need. Jesus' truth is to take in the refugee, to care for the poor, to tend the sick, and to defend the powerless and the marginalized. Jesus' truth is that God's love is recklessly abundant, even and especially towards those whom we might fear or resent or dislike the most. Jesus' truth, to which he testifies with his entire life and by his death, is that God is not anger and wrath. God is not revenge, hungry to punish. God is pure love, creating, healing, life-giving, self-sacrificing love. Jesus, in testimony to his truth, would rather die than kill his enemies. Which brings us here today to Good Friday, this sobering day when Jesus, who is love personified, willingly gives himself over in self-sacrifice for the sake of truth and in service of love, for the love of the human race and of the whole world and the whole earth. Jesus' kingdom is not of this world. His truth is not of this world. If it was, Jesus would have taken up the fight. He would have approved of Peter striking that first blow with his sword. He would have let his disciples enter the fray of combat to defend and protect him. But you can't overcome violence with violence. You can't overcome fear with fear. You can't fight one false truth with another false truth. You can't overcome the love of power with the love of more power. Jesus is nailed to the cross for holding fast to truth. And though it seems impossible on this day, his truth will prevail. His power will prevail. On Good Friday, at the foot of the cross, we witness the clashing of two forces in Caesar's day, the power of love against the love of power. And we face the stark truth that these two forces continue to battle for our souls in this 21st century day, with all of our Pilates and all of the Caesars whom they serve, and all of the Caiaphases who masquerade in religious tradition, but continue to deny the truth to which Jesus testifies in his life and in his death. In fear of the emperor, or maybe in fear of losing control over his own people, the high priest Caiaphas declares, "We have no king but Caesar." Here, Caiaphas shockingly betrays all that the Hebrew law and prophets before him proclaimed, that the Lord God is one, and we shall serve no other gods but this one. That dangerous mix of empire and religion is what put Christ on the cross. And still today, many who call themselves Christian wear a mask of faith, but are quick to swear allegiance to the false powers of our world, who are shaping our culture and nation by force, violence, and domination. But Christians, worthy of the name, seek to follow Christ first and foremost. We know what Jesus stands for. He made it plain. We know how Jesus wants us to care for the stranger, the sick, and the imprisoned. We know how Jesus wants us to treat the poor, the vulnerable, and the oppressed. Shall we, who proclaim Christ crucified and raised, be talked out of his truth by those who peddle fears and false truths from their positions of worldly power? Our loyalty, first and foremost, is to Christ crucified, whom God raised from the dead. Our allegiance is to the one who came into the world to testify to the truth about God, that God is love, and in God there is no darkness at all. Many in every generation sell their souls for lies, masquerading as truth. The false truth that the world can be made safe through violent means. The false truth that meaning is derived from the acquisition of wealth and other forms of power and lording these material advantages over others. But the truth of Christ crucified is that the meaning of life is found in the love that pours itself out for others' well-being. The meaning of life is not in the power to destroy, but in the power to heal. The meaning of life is not in the power to kill, but in the power to bring life out of death. And only the power of love can do that. And even though we know through our Easter eyes and in our Easter hearts that the power of love has the last word over the love of power, even though we know this, how confident are we in our daily lives, with our daily choices? How confident are we that we can stake our lives on the power of love at all costs, as Jesus promises? As one poet writes, "Year after year, we'll stand by as he's executed. We'll betray and deny and kick ourselves afterward. And then year after year, we'll go on, like onlookers. We'll go on, pleased that he's died for us, but not really clear which side we're on." On Good Friday, the starkness of this day demands that we decide which kind of love we are placing our confidence in, the love of power or the power of love. It demands that we consider who it is we are following and at what cost. The raw pain of Jesus on the cross is our mirror on this day. It brings us to our senses. It invites us to see our place in the scene. It helps us to recognize where our thoughts and actions have gone squarely against the power of love. Such realization is rightly anguishing, but all is not lost. Quite the contrary. Because at last, when we've put aside our false pretenses and our false pieties, when we lay our souls bare at the foot of Jesus' cross, we will find that the power of love is the force that meets us there. And this is the beginning of our rescue from the spiraling consequences of our actions, our mistakes, our complicity that nails love to the cross. When we come to the foot of the cross, when we come to our senses, The power of love welcomes us with compassion and forgiveness and celebrates our return. When we venerate the cross today, as we lay our souls bare and take to our knees, let the power of love receive us into his outstretched arms.